It's I think the Electoral Act has a reputation of being perhaps the most amended piece of legislation that we have had in the return to civil rule. And that's because of the desire for, if you like, incremental progress. In the legislature virtually did the 2002 amendment single-handedly, and because of that, INEC had issues with some of the resolutions that came and the amendment that they did, and indeed were in court, and that led to the further amendment. And all of this has arisen from the need to have free, fair, acceptable, credible elections and inclusive elections. So when the law or the legal regime that that upholds our leadership recruitment process does not take care of these indices, the indices of fairness, the indices of credibility, the indices of inclusivity, acceptability, you need to continue to tweak the law. And that's just the explanation, because it's not just the desire to change, it's the yearnings, the aspirations of Nigerians for more improved, better elections are the reason why those amendments. We were coming from where you'll be voting, and sometimes the result of where you are voting will be announced. That's where we're coming from. We're coming from a place of temporary voters card or no voters card at all, you know, and then the chaos that occasioned brought us to the smart card reader and the permanent voters card. And as your opener said, the smart card reader was not recognized by the law. The Supreme Court dealt a death knell on the smart card reader, and so that needed tweaking. So the introduction of technology need to be captured in the law. So that's eventually why the 2022 amendment now began to think about those indices that I talked about. First is about money, funding, that INEC can now begin to get his resources 1 year to every election, unlike what it used to be before, where even, you know, 1 year to election, they are cap in hand begging. Now, operationalization of that is another issue. Then the issue of inclusivity, you started talking about, that INEC will now have to compulsorily provide assistive materials for people living with disabilities. What it used to be was that it's optional, they could decide to or not. Now they are mandated by law to provide assistive materials. That means magnifying glasses for people living with albinism, braille ballots for those who can use it, and all of those. All those are taking care of the inclusivity component, making voting places accessible, separating the aged and the vulnerable and pregnant women from all of those things are just looking at the law with the lens of inclusivity. Then technology, of course, INEC can now, if you have a community reading of the law, INEC can determine whatever technology it wants to deploy. And so you have the BVAS, you have the IREV, you have IVED. All of those, IVED is the one that is used for voter registration, BVAS is the one that is for authentication, and then IREV is the upload, you know, the one that is used to upload the results to the viewing portal, you know. So it's, for me, the need for inclusivity, the need for credibility, the need for acceptability and fairness are the reasons why we have made the kind of progress that we have seen in our electoral process. And the joy of it is that it is called a process, because it's indeterminate in terms of its it will continue. We will continue to make those changes. That's why it's a process.
But